Hi everybody. Okay, I had a short break and I'm back. Okay, so we're going to continue talking about the Nicola Bulley press conference, but this time we're going to talk more about the aftermath of the press conference. So, okay, although Smith and Wilson pretended not to want to tell the public what Nicola's vulnerabilities were, they knew full well that the media and public would not rest until they knew. And therefore, soon after the press conference, they released the information. And I quote, Nicola had significant issues with alcohol in the past and was suffering recurrences due to struggles brought on by menopause. Okay, so where are they going with this? Well, it is obvious, isn't it? It is becoming more and more difficult to prove an accident. So, in order for them to be right in their main working hypothesis, they can always attempt to prove suicide. Yes, I mean, please, anything but a crime. Well, guys, personally, and regardless of this recent revelation, I would rather go for the accident scenario than the suicide one. Firstly, I highly doubt Paul would have allowed Nicola to take the kids to school if she was drunk at 8 a.m. in the morning. Paul also said that everything was already done by the time he got downstairs. Breakfast was made and the kids were ready for school. He then had breakfast with the girls while Nicola did her toiletry and got ready to leave. Does this sound like a woman who was already drunk or planning to kill herself? No, it doesn't. As Paul often took the girls to school and even Willow for a walk, and sometimes Paul and Nicola even did it together, I think it was more likely that Nicola would have asked Paul to take the girls and walk Willow and would have used that time, the time while he was away, to either drink or disappear or then unalive herself. So, no, I highly doubt that she was drunk at 8 a.m. and I doubt she had pre planned on disappearing or to unalive herself. A number of people saw Nicola at school that morning. Nobody noticed any odd behavior. She texted her boss and texted a friend to set up a play date for the next day. Now, why would she bother to do that if she was going to disappear or unalive herself? She logged into that business meeting. Now, would you do that if all you wanted to do was drink, disappear, or unalive yourself? I wouldn't. I wouldn't bother. And why would she stay logged into that work call, leave Willow unsecured, and then go jump down a rather steep but not sheer embankment into 2 foot of water? Because although the river at the bench area is about 3 meters deep in the middle, it is clear from footage that we can all see that it is no more than 2 feet around the edge. The other thing YouTube creators, Lancashire Police, etc., are missing is that Nicola is a very strong swimmer. And using Becky's famous words against her now, it is my hypothesis that if Nicola went into the water because she either intended to unalive herself or because she slipped and fell, natural instinct would have taken over and Nicola would have swam out, or at least would have kept her head above water until help arrived. It would be my hypothesis that it would be the scenario even if Nicola was inebriated. In my opinion, the only way Nicola would or could not have saved herself would be if something happened before she went into the water. If she was, say, rendered unconscious before she was either thrown or pushed into the water, or then even before she fell into the water. What also frustrates me is the fact that no one seems to pay attention to the fact that Willow the dog was agitated and running between the bench and the gate. Not the bench and the water, but the bench and the gate. And numerous witnesses and the police had said that. Yet people come on YouTube and elsewhere and say, oh, Willow was running between the bench and the water. No, he wasn't, or she wasn't. She was agitated, running between the bench and the gate. Now, as another YouTuber demonstrated, Willow was not trapped in that area. She could have left via the gate, under the gate, or next to the gate. She could also have gone in the opposite direction and gone back in the direction they came from originally, but she didn't. No, something was bugging her, and that something had something to do with that little gate. I'm going to guess that Nicola left or was taken through that gate. Now, apparently, towards the end of their walk, Nicola would return from the upper field, and as soon as they reached the bench, Nicola would put Willow's harness back on. This is backed up by the fact that behind the bench is actually a sign stating that dogs have to be on a leash from that point on. So it is my hypothesis that something unexpected happened between the moment they entered back through that gate and before Nicola could get the harness back on Willow, and also before she could disconnect from her call. And whatever it was happened between 9:20 and 9:30. Now that is 10 minutes. So what happened in those 10 minutes? Who was around that area in those 10 minutes? And why was the only camera which was actually not working the one which would have showed what happened at the bench? I told you before, I do not believe in coincidences. Now, I'm very sorry, I do not buy the suicide narrative. To recap, I do not think Nicola was drunk at 9 a.m. on that day. Secondly, she would not have bothered to text her boss and friend to make future plans had she been depressed or suicidal. And thirdly, being a strong swimmer, I do not think Nicola would have chosen drowning as a method of suicide. I think the issues Nicola may have had in the past and which she struggled with more recently should have been shared with experts and other police and investigators much, much sooner, but not at all with the public, at least not until there was some kind of resolution, because all they're achieving now is to make out that Nicola was a depressed drunk and likely did herself harm, which means that people will be less inclined to look into other things or to keep searching. So I think that is highly disgusting, and it was not necessary to divulge that information to the public at this point in time, whether it was with or without her family's permission. Okay, guys, so that is all for now. I'll keep my ear to the ground, and if I hear anything, I'll be back. So, until we meet again on the next video, please take good care of yourself and each other. Bye.